Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to address a very specific question that I keep seeing cropping up in a community on Facebook called Small YouTubers Growing Together. This is addressed specifically within that group. However, if you have inexplicably managed to find this video on YouTube, then you are most welcome to come and join that group. It's worth pointing out that I am not a YouTuber. I often sit on the other side of the camera and I help other YouTubers out to grow their channels, edit their videos, and otherwise manage their channels, amongst other things. That out of the way, and before we get into the real guts of it, you don't know me and I don't know you, so introductions are most definitely in order. My name is Cam, and I own a company called Fable based in Northern England. We have a breadth of services, but one of the big ones that we provide is video production services. Now, within the scope of that, we handle YouTubers, we handle company ads, we handle TV and broadcast, so there's quite a lot going on, but the point is we are the professional video makers. Now, that out of the way, let's jump right into this particular question that seems to crop up almost daily. What video editing software should I be using to edit my YouTube videos? Now, for me, that's a very easy question to answer because it is going to be one of two pieces of software. But before I get to that, what I've noticed is that most people will offer up free or freemium versions of software and evangelize those and say, yep, this is what you need to do, you need to use this. That's great and that's fine. Everyone loves something for free. But the problem with these particular pieces of software is that they are limiting your scope. There's a lot of stuff missing from those that really kind of add an extra layer of polish to your videos that you're definitely going to need further down the line. If you're at a position where you can't afford any editing software at the minute, that's absolutely fine. Keep using the free ones. I don't discourage you from that. This should be an accessible thing that everyone should be able to get into. However, taking a longer term view, it's worth paying attention to this video now so that you have something to look forward to and sort of get an eye on the future of where you want to be, because depending on which software package you want to go for, you're going to have two very different styles or aesthetics, if you like. However, if you are at the point where you want to upgrade, perfect. This is definitely for you. So there are two really that you want to be looking at. These are the industry standard pieces of software that we use within the industry most of the time. There are other outlying pieces of software as well, but those tend to be more towards the broadcast and film end of the scale. So those are things like Lightworks or LWKS, as they like to be known now, which are a bit more specific. It's worth pointing out they do exactly the same thing in more or less exactly the same way. The only difference is they're more heavily key-binded. The reasons for that I won't get into because it's pretty boring. It's a workflow thing. So really the two that you want to be looking for are Adobe Premiere Pro as part of the Creative Cloud suite through Adobe, and the other one is DaVinci Resolve. Now, again, do exactly the same thing, they just do it in slightly different ways and they have different strengths and weaknesses. So which one's right for you? Adobe Premiere Pro then. Adobe Premiere Pro is more like a generalist software. It does lots of stuff really well and it really improves your workflow overall. It doesn't have any really outstanding strengths or anything like that. It just does everything really, really well. Notable inclusions are things like Ripple Edit. This is going to speed you up massively, so whenever you're clipping down one piece of footage within the overall sequence, it means that it'll trim the rest with it and pull it down, so you don't have to mess about just dragging things around all the time. Little stuff like that can save you loads amount of time. The other thing that it does really well is cleaning up audio. It does a good job of that, but if you really need to dig a bit deeper, if you do get the entire Creative Cloud suite, you will have access to Adobe Audition as well, which is a really, really useful piece of audio kit. Aside from that, if you are paying for the full fat Adobe suite for, I think it's 50 quid a month at the minute, you get After Effects as well, which is again a really useful thing. Now, if you do any animation or anything like that, you can also have access to Character Animator, which is another piece of quirky software which will help you animate characters. It does exactly what it says on the tin, but really coming back to After Effects, mostly you're not going to be doing a lot of visual effects stuff on there to begin with at least, but it might be that you want some custom lower thirds, titles or anything like that, and that's brilliant for that. DaVinci Resolve is a different animal altogether. It really kind of, I suppose if you're looking at it from a video platform point of view, Adobe Premiere Pro would be YouTube, and if you're going to take that as YouTube, then DaVinci Resolve is Vimeo. It's a more cinematic experience. It's really there kind of to focus more on the color grading. It's node editing based, which is a completely different style of working with it in terms of your workflow, but it's actually not that difficult. Once you get a hand on it, it's great. Generally speaking, the split within our company internally is around about 66 to 33 in favor of Adobe Premiere. That's our everyday editing suite. There's only one or two of the guys that use Resolve, and only in a few specific circumstances as well. This kind of ripples out, if you like, into the rest of the industry, and that's pretty representative of where the split is, give or take. Depending on which way you want to go, if you kind of want to do something a bit more broadcasty or TV looking, then yep, DaVinci Resolve's for you. You want that Vimeo look, or you want to do the whole Pete McKinnon thing, that's the way to go. If you're looking at more generalist stuff, Premiere Pro is the way to do it. It's quick, it's easy to pick up. One of the things that I'll probably do is I will probably start doing a few tutorials on Premiere Pro for people who are new to it, because one of the things that you tend to find is that going from a free to a paid editing software can be a bit overwhelming, because all of a sudden you have access to a load of tools that you didn't have before. So I'll kind of try and demystify all of that. And that's it. It's, have a think about it now. If you're at the point where you're going to start paying for it, then Adobe Creative Cloud, don't just get Premiere Pro, get the whole lot. It's I think 20 quid extra a month. It weighs in at about 50 quid a month for the entire suite, and you get everything within there, with the exception of the Substance suite, which you won't need unless you do lots of 3D work. Resolve is another matter. That's a single one-off payment. Obviously, that's going to be a bit higher. I think it's something around about 300 quid at the minute, and you get the whole lot. And pay once, that's it, it's yours forever. Nice and easy, simple as that. So hopefully that answers the question. Not so much briefly, but hopefully a bit more succinctly, reasons why you don't want to be using the free ones. They're very limited. Ultimately, as a video producer, and you are video producers, you're not quite at the point where you're professionals, but the point at which you step off from having a full-time job to doing this full-time, you become a professional, right? So you need to be using professional kit. You need to equip yourself like a professional, if nothing else. So that's it. I hope that's useful for you, and any questions or queries, stick them in the comments down below. Alternatively, I'm always hanging around that YouTube group on Facebook anyway, so yeah, peace out. Peace out. Really? God. Ugh.